All right, each week on The Divide, Brandy Cruz urges a return to reason. And this week, she looks at statements politicizing vaccinations.
I'll start this segment on vaccinations as I have others. I am fully vaccinated. I got it at the first available opportunity. And because of others who chose to do the same thing, the state this week hit a 70% vaccination rate, the rate that health experts hoped we would achieve all along. And I don't ever say, 100% or something ridiculous, because the reality is you're always going to have a segment of the population that does not get vaccinated. 100% vaccination isn't realistic. But Governor Jay Inslee is not content at herd immunity, and he seems to know where to place the blame for us not exceeding his expectations.
You are a bioreactor facility generating virus and spreading it around, including to kids who can't get vaccinated. I want to reiterate that. If you're a 50-year-old man who, voted for Donald Trump and didn't think COVID was a problem and you don't get vaccinated right now, you arrest every kid in your city because you could be spreading a virus to a 10-year-old who can't get eligible for the vaccine right now. Now, some of us think that's not responsible. And if that's judgmental, so be it.
And look, there is some data that shows Republican-leaning areas are less vaccinated. You can see that data for yourself. This is a map from the Department of Health. Let's take a look at this. The lighter the color, the less vaccinated the population. Some counties you can see over there on the east side of the state, much lighter than on the west side. Some of those counties hovering around 30% for vaccinations. So certainly, look, it seems factual that Republican-leaning areas are less vaccinated, although there can be many factors that contribute to that, including that those areas are more rural and vaccines might not be as readily available in those areas or as convenient. But all of that aside, ponder, if you will, for a moment with me, ponder the purpose of the governor's comment.
If you're a 50-year-old man who, voted for Donald Trump and didn't think COVID was a problem and you don't get vaccinated right now, you arrest every kid in your city.
So there can really only be two reasons the governor said what he said there. Either one, he wants to shame people who supported the former president, or two, he wants to change behavior by making people feel guilty. It's a tactic he's employed at many stages of the pandemic, like when he said this last year about teenagers continuing to party.
Someone asked the other day, what's the penalty for a young person going out to a restaurant or hanging in a social get-together? And it's true, the penalty is you might kill your grandparent.
So when it comes to the governor's comments about Trump supporters, let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Let's say it's not about shaming people just because they supported Trump, but rather it is his way of trying to change behaviors that he, as the governor tasked with keeping us safe and healthy, wants to convince remaining holdouts to get a vaccine. So if we operate on that belief that that is his motivation, ask yourself, does this help accomplish that goal?
You are a bioreactor facility generating virus and spreading it around, including to kids who can't get vaccinated. I want to reiterate that. If you're a 50-year-old man who, voted for Donald Trump and didn't think COVID was a problem and you don't get vaccinated right now, you arrest every kid in your city because you could be spreading a virus to a 10-year-old who can't get eligible for the vaccine right now. Now, some of us think that's not responsible. And if that's judgmental, so be it.
So let's say there are Trump supporters out there watching who are not vaccinated who heard that, who heard the governor speaking directly to them, calling them bioreactors who are putting children at risk.
If you're a 50-year-old man who, voted for Donald Trump and didn't think COVID was a problem and you don't get vaccinated right now, you arrest every kid in your city.
Do you believe, truly, that there is a Trump supporter on the planet who would hear Governor Inslee say that and suddenly feel compelled, feel a sudden call to duty, if you will, to get a vaccine? Not a chance. And the governor knows that. He does. So again, we go back to the only two possible reasons that the governor brought politics into the conversation to begin with. Again, one, he wanted to publicly shame Trump supporters, or two, he was hoping he could convince them to actually get vaccinated by calling them bioreactors. As I think we all know, the latter at this stage doesn't really make any sense. People who are willing to get a vaccine, by and large, have already done so. So we're only left with option number one. that despite the fact our state is among the most vaccinated in the country, despite the fact we are fully reopened, despite the fact we hit the goal the state set for itself, the governor still feels the need to shame those who chose not to get a vaccine, but only if they also chose to support the former president.
And if that's judgmental, so be it.